Yep. What's up?
Hello. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for coming on to our podcast here. Now, before we dive right in, why don't you tell our listeners and to everyone a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, my name is JC. I teach math. I've been doing so for 6 years. This is my 6 year teaching, and I teach in the North Dallas area.
All right. So how long have you been there?
I'm kind of from here. I moved out here when I was in ninth grade, and then I went to school in Austin, and then I lived in Atlanta for 4.5 years, and now I'm back here.
Okay. So my next question for you is what inspired you to teach? Who was a influence on your life to pursue a career in education?
Okay. It was really just the fact that like when you look at us as it pertains to math, which is what I teach,
Hmm.
um, a lot of people, like statistically speaking, don't perform like as well as other races. That's just looking at numbers, and that fact alone kind of inspired me and motivated me to kind of, I guess, change that, if you would say. Just realizing that was kind of like a problem that needs to be addressed, and so that fact kind of drove me to do what I do.
If you could do anything to improve our education system, what would you
Mhm.
possibly do to fix it? Because there needs to be change happening into our system. So, what would you possibly change to improve it?
That is definitely very true. There's a number of things, but one of the things that I think is most important is um, pertaining to like the curriculum. Like I even ask myself oftentimes when we learn different topics, like what is the actual skill that we're building? So I feel like if there was different or more intentionality when designing the curriculum in terms of what they want the students to get out of it, that's something that I feel like should change. Because I feel like the curriculum now, I don't know if this is true or not, but this is just how I feel, is that it hasn't changed, you know, in many, many years. And I know the topics are the same, but what I'm talking about is the ways in which you can apply those topics. There's oftentimes where we learn stuff in math that is useful outside of the classroom, but we don't learn about that. So that's something that I think we should change.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Do you think we will ever get back to, I don't want to say back to normal,
Hmm.
but do you ever think that is ever going to happen again? Is this going to be our permanent state of living with schools? What do you think?
Mm, I don't know if I would say permanent, but it was funny because I was just last week telling my students, like, can't y'all just imagine the day when we can come to school and we don't have to all wear our masks? And they were like, I know, I can't wait whenever that'll be, whether like I doubt it'll be this year.
Yeah.
It may be next year. I hope. Um, I mean, we'll see what they're talking about with this vaccine, because I know a huge chunk of people aren't going to take it, and
Hmm.
so that is going to be a whole issue in and of itself. Um, so I don't think there's any way to know, if we're going to be like this forever. But as far as it being permanent, I wouldn't say permanent. I would hope not.